All of us have motivation of some sort. I define motivation as the desire to achieve that which you believe to be worthwhile. Many people go through life never getting in touch with their greatness because of a lack of motivation to push themselves, or because they have not found something they believe to be worthwhile to challenge them. I heard a poem once that said, "Many a flower has bloomed unceasingly and wasted its sweetness upon the cold desert air." Translated, that means simply that many talented individuals have gone unnoticed, and the world never had a chance to be exposed to their talent because that person did not take the time to begin to express, demonstrate, or motivate themselves in the direction of bringing forth that which they came into the universe to bring. How can you measure your motivation? How can you evaluate where you are on a scale of 1 to 10? Let's do this for ourselves mentally. How do you rate yourself from 1 to 10 in terms of your mental attitude about yourself? How do you feel about you? How do you feel about life? How do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of your physical appearance and your health? Do you take care of yourself? Are you allowing yourself to get overweight and out of shape? Are you conscious of your health? Are you watching the food you take into your body? Do you make a deliberate effort to exercise? You know, George Burns once said, "We cannot help getting older, but we don't have to get old." Many of us get old before our time because we don't take the time to take care of ourselves. Your environment is a very good indicator. On a scale of 1 to 10, is it what you want it to be? Do you find it desirable? Are you satisfied? What about the job or career you're involved in? Someone said that 85% of the American public is unhappy with their jobs. Are you spending 8 hours a day just doing something that you don't find challenging, that does not make you stretch mentally, that does not stimulate or inspire you or provide a sense of fulfillment? If you're doing that day in and day out, it has to affect how you feel about yourself, your level of motivation. Your relationships, what kind of impact are they having on your life? Are they nourishing or are they toxic? Do they drain you or do they build you up? Ask yourself that. How motivated are you to do something about it? Your contribution, your actions, what are you giving? Many people will leave this universe without a trace. No one will know they were here. In fact, under their name, we could write "not used up." Will anybody know that you came this way? What contribution are you giving? What will you leave? What will be different because you came this way? Someone once said that life is our gift from God, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. What kind of gift are you formulating? Is it a gift you'd like to take back and do something else with before you turn it in? Think about that. What can we do? What are some of the keys we can begin to use to motivate ourselves when our batteries run low? Because I don't care who you are or what you do, at some point you are going to get tired. At some point you are going to get in a rut. It will seem like nothing you do works out right. Sometimes it just seems like you don't have the wherewithal or the will to do anything. At times you might feel punch drunk, just wading through life, doing time day in and day out, watching non-discriminatory television, just looking at whatever is on, feeling depressed, powerless, useless, and bored. What do? How do you get yourself out of a rut? How do you, when you know you can do more than what you've been doing, and you're not doing it, get yourself out of that discontent? When you're angry at yourself, how do you motivate yourself? One of the things we must do is work on achieving self-mastery. You must work on yourself continuously. Never be satisfied with yourself. Always know that as you invest effort and time in yourself, that's the greatest ability. Human beings have a capacity that sets us apart from animals. See, a dog can't be anything but a dog. A tree can't be anything but a tree. But as a human being, you've got unlimited potential. You can put effort into yourself, and by concentrating on developing yourself, you can transform your life no matter where you are right now. So you want to work on yourself. You want to read books that inspire and motivate you. You want to listen to tapes over and over again. I suggest you listen to tapes when you first get up in the morning. You want to control the spirit of your day. When you first wake up, your mind operates at 10.5 wave cycles per second. That's when the subconscious mind is most impressionable. Whatever you hear in the first 20 minutes after waking will affect the spirit of your day. When you listen to tapes, do so with relaxed belief, believing that this can happen for you. By listening to them over and over again, you'll eventually get a breakthrough. You might listen to the same tape for months and suddenly hear something you never noticed before. It will have a special meaning for you. Or you might read the same book again and discover a new insight. You'll wonder how you missed it the first time. You want to be involved in developing yourself. Most people won't do that. Most people won't take that kind of effort or invest that kind of energy in themselves because they fall prey to that inner conversation. Oh, don't do that. You don't have time. You're too busy. You're caught up in the rat race. Most people won't take time to attend lectures, seminars, or classes to improve themselves. But as you continue to work on yourself, you'll begin to expand your vision of who you are. You'll work towards self-mastery, and it will reflect in all dimensions of your life, your mental life, your physical life, your social life, your relationships, and your monetary life. Concentrate on developing yourself, because if you don't, I guarantee you will settle. Most people already have. What kind of settlement have you made with your life? You know, when we make settlements, out-of-court settlements, for instance, it means we've decided to take something less than what we originally wanted because we didn't believe we could get what we truly deserved. Many of us are making in life settlements. We're settling for less than what we actually deserve. We don't feel good about it, but we rationalize it, make excuses, and convince ourselves it's okay. What kind of settlement have you made with your life? Many of us settle for less than we want out of relationships because we don't have the courage to change them. To begin finding the keys to self-motivation, in addition to working on yourself, remember, as you work on yourself, you'll feel good about yourself. As you feel better about yourself, you'll treat yourself differently. Develop a health plan. See? You can't feel well and do well if you don't have good health. You can't perform if you don't have your health. Your health is valuable. Develop a health plan, a plan that you will follow. Because this is the only vehicle that you have to carry you through this experience called life. You want to take good care of it because you love yourself enough. You care enough about yourself, and that's not easy. It is not easy having a health plan and sticking to it. What are the things that you fear, the things that have been keeping you from living your dream, the things that have been keeping you from doing some of the things you'd like to do? Just think about those things. How do we begin to handle that? Abraham Maslow said that life is about growth. He said you can either go back to your comfort zone, and there you won't find any growth, or you must be willing to go forward and face your fears again and again and again. Because you're never going to have a fear-free existence. I mean, some fear is acceptable and legitimate. There are some things that you really should be afraid of. Now, you shouldn't allow fear to immobilize you. Acknowledge it, take it into account, and carry yourself accordingly. There are times when we should proceed with caution. But the difference between being stopped by fear and having fear stop you is huge. So what do? We acknowledge it, knowing that it's okay. Don't condemn yourself for being afraid. It's perfectly fine to have some fears. You acknowledge your fears, embrace those fears, and then you move on. You act on whatever it is that you fear, because once you embrace it, see, what you resist will persist. What you resist will persist. So one of the most important things is to begin to embrace your fear. I used to have a tremendous inferiority complex about speaking before people that I felt had more going for them than I did. Because I'm not college trained, I used to feel that college educated people were the most intelligent people on the planet, and that there was nothing I had to say that they would listen to. That's how I felt. So I had to visualize myself speaking before them, speaking before various audiences who had more going for them than I did. I had to realize and appreciate my own value, and that I was a worthwhile person, even though I didn't have everything going for me. I didn't have the money, I didn't have the education that they had. Part of the process is seeing yourself as worthy, as capable, with what you need to make you a worthwhile person. You're more than able, and you deserve to be listened to, or to have that dream, that passion, or whatever it is that you see and envision. You've got to see it in your mind's eye and know that you've got what it takes. What fears am I holding on to? What fears am I allowing to imprison me, to keep me from breaking out, from living up to my true potential, from really being happy, from having a sense of adventure and excitement in my life? What's keeping me from controlling my destiny? What fears am I giving permission to? Notice what I said. We must give our permission to fear to immobilize us. Because whenever discomfort you experience, whatever challenges or difficulties arise, you've got to handle it. You've got to wrestle with it. Will it be easy? No. Will it be challenging? Yes. A friend of mine who's going into recovery from addiction to crack cocaine and alcohol was talking about how challenging it was. While he was dreading going cold turkey, I said, "What do you want me to tell you? That it's going to be a picnic?" "No, it's not. It's going to kick your butt." "Yes, it is." "Are you going to want to die?" Yes, that's a part of it. But that's just what you must go through in order to get where you want to go. And guess what? You are strong enough to do it. You're strong enough, and your life is worth whatever you have to go through to get past this addiction. Whatever you have to do for your dream, whatever you want to do, will it be easy to just run out there and do it? No. Will it happen overnight? No. Will it be a struggle? Yes. Will there be times when you can't make ends meet? Yes, that's a part of it. Will there be times when you won't know what to do? Yes, that's a part of it. The next thing is that you want to monitor your inner conversations, the things that you say to yourself. You want to watch them, and in watching them, you want to take charge. A friend of mine told me this evening, and she did it excellently. She said, I didn't want to come tonight. I was feeling so depressed. And I said, go anyhow. See, that was the conversation. Oh, you really don't feel like it. You really don't need to do it. You don't really need to read anything. Forget all that. That's that inner conversation. Oh, you don't need to worry about trying to start your own business. Forget that. You can't do that. What if you lose everything you've got? That's the inner conversation that stops you from doing the things you want to do. Don't do that. How can you possibly think about being a motivational speaker? You don't have the contacts, you don't have the money, you don't know the right people. You're going to get up there and your mind's going to go blank. Forget all that. You remember that time you got up before some people and panicked? You stood up and your mind shut down. Don't you remember? And I said yes, and then I said shut up. So you've got to learn to stand up to yourself inside. Short circuit, override that conversation that's always going on. 85% of what that conversation tells you is negative. It's negative. It will tell you you're tired when you really aren't tired. It will tell you you can't do it. It will fill you with fear. So you've got to watch that conversation. When you find it going on, you've got to stand up to it and say, I'm going to do this anyhow. I'm afraid, but I'm afraid not to do it. And I'm not going to let you stop me. The biggest challenge that you will have in life is you. There's an old African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. The next thing that is key to self-motivation is that you've got to ask yourself, what do I want out of life? What do you want out of life? What do you want out of a job? What do you want out of a career? What do you want out of a relationship? What do you want? What gives you your life? How will you know when you've got it? What will make you happy? You need to know. You need to start asking yourself some questions. What do I really truly want? And you need to be exact about that. Don't be vague. Oh, I just want to be happy. That's too vague. What will make you happy? How will you know? When you've got it, zero in on it. Be exactly specific. And as you do that, it will stimulate that superconscious mind or the reticular activating system of your mind, which will begin to find those things to identify with it. And once you begin to determine that what you want, take the time to write it down. Don't just think about it, write it down. That is a subjective process that engages the subconscious mind. Write it down. Once you write it down, read it 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. Why is that important? Because what it will do is cause you to focus. It will cause you to concentrate. When that other conversation is going on, telling you what you cannot do, telling you all the impossibilities and all the obstacles, your concentrating will begin to create a larger vision within yourself. You'll start looking for and seeing new opportunities, and you'll start creating openings for yourself. As you begin to read that every day, day in and day out, it will make you focus. It will discipline your thinking, and you'll get all kinds of creative ideas. As I talk to you right now, being involved in this immersion process, you're going to create openings for yourself. You're going to get ideas. You're going to feel your adrenaline flowing, and you're going to think about some idea you had, and you'll say, I want to go back and look at that again from a different vantage point. Not from the level of the problem or the obstacles that I encountered, but from a higher vantage point. Because what you will begin to see and know as I talk to the higher consciousness within you is that you are powerful, that you are a miracle worker, and that inner conversation has conditioned you to believe that you are not. As you begin to discover the truth of who you are, whatever challenge you're facing in life, and if you're facing some challenge, you'll begin to know that you are powerful and that you are a maker of miracles. So as you begin to write down exactly what it is that you want, read it every day. The next thing is, see yourself there. How will you feel once you get there? What will the experience be like for you? What will be different? What kind of person do you have to become in order to get there? Visualize yourself there, living the experience. I remember when I ran for state representative in Columbus, Ohio, I had a lot of people telling me be mindful of not just the conversation within, but the conversation without telling me you can't possibly win. You can't do that. But I went down to the legislature and I saw myself. I knew what I wanted. I saw myself in the chair. I pointed out the chair that I wanted. I used to go and sit in the galleries and watch the legislative process. I used to go to the committee meetings and listen to legislation being introduced. I learned how to write legislation, how to amend legislation. I started thinking like a legislator. I got up every day dressing and thinking like that, selling myself on it, seeing myself in the legislature. Mr. Speaker, I'm the gentleman from the 29th House District. I'd like to introduce a bill. I went into the legislature, walked around, and had the experience of it. And when I ran and won against overwhelming odds, they were shocked. I won the election even before it was held because I was living it in my mind. You want to see yourself beyond your circumstances. You've got a challenge. See yourself beyond your challenge. See yourself with the challenge already resolved. Now, I want you to think about in your mind right now a particular event or act in your life that you feel very bad about that you really regret took place. If you had to do it over again, you would do it differently. With that there, I want you to see yourself in your mind's eye and say to yourself, I love myself unconditionally and I forgive myself. I knew better. I would have done better. This author said about life. Life is a challenge, meet it. Life is a gift, accept it. Life is an adventure, dare it. Life is a sorrow, overcome it. Life is a tragedy, face it. Life is a duty, perform it. Life is a game, play it. Life is a mystery, unfold it. Life is a song, sing it. Life is an opportunity, take it. Life is a journey, complete it. Life is a promise, fulfill it. Life is a beauty, praise it. Life is a struggle, fight it. Life is a goal, achieve it. Life is a puzzle, solve it.